Good morning and welcome to your favorite program, Focus Salone, where they come to you live on AMAZE TV channel 32 and all with social media platforms them AMAZE TV SL. Me Naramid Kamara.
And me na Sheila Refel. Don't forget to say this na Focus Salone where now we lead program na AMAZE TV channel 32. And it's how we did this morning. Don't forget to yourself able for join we on this program by where you go sending you text message, you comment to all with social media platform, Facebook, YouTube and also Instagram. And also you can send in your text message to 075 678292 075 678292.
Well, Fambul, inside the program today, we will look at the Sierra Leone water company, which people know as Salwako. We will look at the mandate, we will look at the work where then they do, and who side then they do the work. And also, we will look at the successes and challenges. And finally, we get for all them responsible, or we get for all them to account for the work where then they do, because now taxpayer money government they use for support the operation.
Also inside the program we go look at one insight outside the director for Native Consortium think tank do with young Kelvin Lamin Lando.
Doctor, welcome to Focus Salone.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Doctor, how Salwako they come about as a government entity?
Pre-2001, government we don't think and say we need for expand water supply to the provinces after the war, and then in 2001 they table an act, a bill in parliament will later become an act, so we call Salwako Act 2001. That act they begin Salwako the mandate for do water supplies in big towns them across the countries, including Makeni, Lunge, Bo, Kenema and the like. But over the years, in 2017 again, another act be tabled in parliament where bill be tabled in parliament will later become an act we call Salwako Act 2017. We give Salwako the mandate. Initially in the first act, we mandate now be from Allentown to the rest of the country. But with this new mandate, the scope was shifted a little bit. Goma's jurisdiction was moved to Waterloo, up to Waterloo, and we take out from Songo to the rest of the country. And then we get more span for cover across the country. That is how we became an act of parliament, and ever since we've been in operations. We have offices in Bo, Kenema, Makeni, and then Bon, Thailand, Pujong, Kailau, Magboroka, Mile 91, and the likes. We, as they operate both as a state-owned enterprise, which means now a company where they operate for make sure say we meet the expectation, if not exceed the expectations of we stakeholders. We include government itself, we employees, we customers and other interested parties. So this is the function of the state-owned enterprise, and as an agency of government we implement programs and projects for government.
Before we enter inside the programs and projects for government, some people then go get them a bit confused, you know, Salwako, Sierra Leone Water Company with Guma Valley. So I go let you throw some light in that area. They waiting at the connection and disconnection between Salwako and Guma Valley.
We mandate now for provide safe, affordable and reliable water supply to the people of Sierra Leone where they under with jurisdiction as per the schedules where Parliament creates, meaning the one that we did from Shenge, now we're responsible for getting water till go all over the country. Then Guma now from Western Rural and Western Urban.
Okay.
You know, so now they so always in when I see Guma they do, we self they do now they with towns here. Only that we get more towns scattered all over the country for provide safe water supply services.
So what's the status of water supply, you know, with Salwako in Wokna the country?
Yes, in towns like Bo, Kenema, and Makeni, and other towns. Then currently 10 stations they operate. And then we also they work on 6 way for operates, but then they under project. So let's argue the status. The status now that we they provide regular water supply, at least predictable in the areas there would work. Nabu, Kenema, Makeni, Pujon, and Bon Thailand, and that's we structured we operation in a way that we treat the water from river, and then we store them in our reservoir, and then we release them to customers there. So we now get for the operate almost on a 24 hours basis, you know, treating water with treats. This quantum will they get to keep them in our reservoir, that they release them. So basically it will operate almost like round the clock because of the kind of reservoirs they will get, and the ring system of we reticulation network, that is the distribution networks there, then serve the serve as reservoir. So basically that is what we do. And then at the end of the month or a certain period, we serve the bill, like our Guma or EDSA the bill, or let's say Guma in this case, with a bill, and then we expect people then for pay them bills. So now that money then they will use for do further treatments and the maintenance, what we call operations and maintenance, and continue for operate.
But in a situation we are in, one will say, una your water na boreholes, they say for drink, then Guma the yon, we all know for sale like a natural base and everything. So in a situation where that like that, how reliable me go be for drink Salwako then your water just from the borehole like that?
Okay, let's clarify something. We get what we call conventional system for these big towns, not to boreholes we use.
Okay.
Now conventional water supply, where we get we intake points, we prefer for collect water from rivers like the Rokel River, the Sewa River, the Wanje River, and all those rivers where they close to the towns where they operate. Sometimes they can be 7, 8, 10, 11 kilometers off. But with the goodie, we build with stations and they treat water there and bring and come to we processing plants and then supply to the reservoir. So we they use conventional system, just the Guma, Nabo, Kenema, Makini, all those places. We they do pre-treatment, we they do chlorination, we they use the same alum for do coagulations, we they use the same all the chemicals we Guma they do. Normal conventional water we need WHO standard. So not to borehole. We they use borehole as an emerging technology for service side the way the conventional systems are not there. That now the villages then those communities, and the perception about safety. Borehole water is believed, we call underground water is believed to be the safest.
Yeah.
It requires little or minimal treatment once you harvest them right. Once you're able for do testing, you look for heavy metals, you're able for treat some alpha column, fecal coliform, those things, then it's one of the safest you can get.
We see inside this month on a do a 1 week nationwide stakeholder engagement on the Saudi program for drilling and also wells. You can tell people about that.
Yes, Saudi, the 100 solar powered boreholes project with Saudi government support with it through the Saudi Fund for Development. Now one of the many projects with Salwako they do for make sure say we increase access to water supply for help this country and government achieve their aspiration within the medium-term development plan, and also the aspiration we'll get for the SDG 6. So borehole, for instance, the Saudi in this case provide we support of $5 million United States dollars to the people of this country for give their water supply. Interestingly, this money not come to we. The Saudi government, like any other countries or donor, get ways out in the structure their own funding. So this then they select their own contractors, their own consultants. All what we they do now for make sure say we help in the design of waiting at the facilities they all want. We agree that it's going to be 100 solar powered borehole, but how they get for look like, how depth they get for go, how the structures get for go, how many kilometers one the reticulation for go. Now we Salwako provide the technical support for that. We your engineers there. Now they do the work, then they will send out to Saudi government, their engineers, and look at them and then we agree at some point, and then we look at with communities. We go do stakeholders engagement again. We select those communities. Government send a list to them. How the government approve, they get back to us, and the contractors and them hire the contractor and the consultant. So all we do as Salwaco now for monitor the project and make sure say then deliver them projects here. And
let me look at the area where owner they operate, you know, now upline, and most people then can say for deal with upline people are not really easy. So Fambulen go want know how, especially traditional leaders them, you know, chiefs them, how then they operate with on our upline.
We get a very good stakeholder engagement and the respect for with traditional people and the local authorities like the local councils, them all who side with the operates. We also get a special department we call Department of Outreach, Communication and Stakeholder Management. We then, you know, for make sure say we keep them with stakeholders, they are happy, informed and satisfied with the work we do. So over the years we don't build that trust and relationship with them. We support them, then say they support we in areas them like climate change, protection of our catchment, even the police, protection of government facilities. So we get very good relationship with all the stakeholders them. But again, the stakeholders they operate with, you know, the country the way they all over. We get small communities and settlements all across Sierra Leone. So they too are people, so we get for make sure say we reach out to them with the services as essential as water. So we do that a lot.
And that's very much impressive. So let me look small about this project. How this project align with the government Big Five agenda and also the medium-term development plan and the UN SDGs?
Yes. Okay. So this particular project here, I think a follow-up to waiting government start for do in 2018 when government of President Bio came out power then decide for construct 100 solar powered boreholes again now 14 chiefdoms, and the successes of those projects that inspire this kind intervention again.
Okay.
You know, so all over you go to communities in Mambulo, you go see them blue and white tank there.
Yeah.
You see them and they get about 15-20 taps them all across. You go see the way they travel across the country. They are everywhere. Those are Salwaco's facilities. When you go closer, you go see we stamp them. Everything we see blue and white is Salwaco. That's our symbol. So government do that across. So now the Saudi also, you know, Sierra Leone is predominantly Muslim country. And then I'm not saying this is the reason, but they also felt obliged to say, let me support with brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone and then give these facilities. This will help we for let we able to reach water closer to the doorsteps of 250,000 people at least with this 100 solar power boreholes. The calculations is there. Yeah. You understand? So when you look at this kind of intervention, it's about increasing access, the SDGs more or less, increasing access to water. Today, before the intervention of this water, maybe somebody will need for waka 15, 20, 30 minutes for going at the stream or for going at the near the next water point we available for get drinking water. But if this come now, they bring 1 kilometer, each borehole community will benefit, each community will benefit. They get 1 kilometer away, some will go 5 kilometers, so 3 kilometers, so 10 kilometers, so 10 meters, so or 100 meters, whatever is it that you apportion that 1 kilometer day. Guess what? They bring the water closer to the doorstep of the people and the various communities. So in itself, it helps in the achieving the aspiration in the medium-term development and also the SDG 6.
You know, you make mention of a borehole, you make mention of the solar stuff they do, and also a well. One go on for no. Is it just the main headquarter community towns or also the villages, them, each and every village of the province, their facilities that are so available?
Well, like I tell you, we communities they're so big, but when you do Freetown, you hardly understand this.
Yeah.
You get some communities, they get 10,000 people, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000 people, but they are large communities when you go to those places. So what we did, we leverage on the council, the local council, the district development plans, where the councillors can tell them, the community tell them, say, oh, we need borehole here, we need this. They say, put another plan, say, we would like to do this, we would like to do this. So, of course, they will not have all the money. But when we get the country there now, we approach them, we need name of 10 communities within this district that can benefit. So, this is how we look at this. Then we also look at the budget, the national budget. Anytime councils they say they can present, they show their aspiration. Okay, this community not get, this community not get, this community not get. They look at the statistics reports. Whose communities are most deprived. So through that rational process, we're able to identify communities that are much in need of the facilities. So not only like based on we share them based on the needs and the people that are much in need of the services and facilities.
So what are some of the challenges there where owner they go through presently, and also also you live, also Salwako be left before you take in, and waiting now the activities and the work that we don't do so far?
Okay, we Young Management, myself and Engineer Vandy, took over in 2020. Me come in August. So I've done the post almost 5 years now. And then at the time where we